it and all kind of stuff. So, oh, look, a new Deva Pramal thing coming up. Ooh, 21-day mantra journey with Deva and Mitten. Oh,
What is it?
Here, I'll just put it
Oh,
up
it's a
in.
mantra journey with the people, you mean? It's a mantra journey?
Yeah, okay, we are live now on YouTube. So here, from Deva and Mitten, this is my email. Here's a new treasure for you, a vision that has at last come to fruition. We will have a 7-day mantra master class beginning November 22nd. And every day we get a mantra practice lesson session, and all from Deva and Mitten. And you can register for it starting the 22nd of November. Oh, I'm excited. I will join that up.
What is it? I don't even know who they are.
Deva Pramal.
I don't really know him, no.
No, her, Deva Pramal.
Oh, her. Oh, I've heard of her, but I don't know her. I don't listen to a lot of her stuff.
Well, we're going to listen to one of her songs right now.
Okay, let's do that. Hi, Deb.
Oh,
Hey,
wait.
Sharon.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Robert again. Hello, everyone.
Good to see you all. So yeah, I'll forward.
Yeah, now I know who she is, but it's a mantra thing. So what
Yeah.
you have to pay for it, or is it free to everybody?
It's free. Yeah, that's what I was just reading. It's a free 7-day class. So here we're gonna listen. We're gonna practice a mantra while we're doing it.
Okay.
So sing along.
In the light of love, we are home. In the light of love, we are home. In the light of love, we heal and sing. in the light of love. We are home in the light of love. We heal and sing. Thy will be done in the light of love. In the light of love. In the light of love. In the light of love.
All right. Isn't that beautiful? That's Deva Pamal and Mitten, and they just announced, for those who didn't hear, that they're going to be doing a 7-day mantra class. It's going to be free, so anybody can
What
register.
time is it? Do you know?
I have no idea because I haven't registered. So
Oh.
when I go and find out, it starts on November 22nd. It's a Saturday. And mantras for transformation. And it's a there's a 21-day course also that goes with it, that probably the first 7 days are completely free. So, but then the rest of it, if you want to continue with the course, it's, let's see. Anyway, I'll figure it out because it's in pounds. So I'm not sure what in dollars it is. I might join that. I might don't join this. It's very exciting to think about. Having a daily call with David and Mitten, or having a, oh my God, that would be.
Yeah, I know their songs too now. It all came back to me, my memory.
Yeah, I knew it would as soon as you heard it. And remember, Ruby Lee used to play that song at night. And that's how I first heard of it, was from listening to Gather from Ruby Lee. She was a great lover of Deva and Mitten, and she's always singing those songs in heaven.
Lynn, I know I'm inquiring about this. This is a question.
Uh,
What confuses me, we were looking at Mary Ann's book too, and it's an excellent book. And if you read that book, but she keeps saying she wants to make a politics of love. And I don't understand how she can bring that to this world. I mean, it's not what the
Well-
course is. Can you help me with that? Because I'm just looking at it and wanting to understand it more, because that's what she keeps showing up on the TV. Like, let's just make a politics. That's the way fascism can be beat.
Well, I went to the doctor yesterday and had an examination and was given pills to take. And that's making a politics of love. I'm not disagreeing with that, because I don't know how the world ends. I don't know,
Right.
all those things are part of the plan. So if there were to become such a thing, that would be an ease of, maybe a possibility. But, we know that that's not the end of the world. The
No,
disappearance of the
yeah,
universe.
I guess for me, it just confused me. Deb has her hand up, because
Yes.
because I find her to really know her stuff. I mean, this book she wrote is great. I have it on
But she's
Audible.
still got level confusion, and that's real evident. It's still level confusion. So if she thinks she can make a better world, good for her. And
I just don't understand it,
go
'cause
for it, girl. But to me, yeah, it's level confusion. And but there's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad to be confused. Is there
no,
something wrong with being confused? No, it's just you're confused.
right.
Anyway,
Deb
go
wants
ahead,
to
Deb.
say something.
Yes, I don't all I know, like experientially, if I bring only love, my world seems to change. My interactions seem to change. You know, last night when McKaylee was saying the interaction she had with the phlebotomist, and I'm serious when I said, what? I can join with any mind? Like as if I was thinking the gathered group was special, and that's why you guys helped me so much by joining you. And it's, you know, it's, and I know that who's asking today, I very frequently want to talk a lot in the morning, and I try to think of people I could call that would appreciate a call. And I said to myself today, who wants to talk? And I was able to be in the presence instead of just spouting. But my experience is when I feel the love, I see the love. And I found a question in the course yesterday, and I don't have my book in front of me. And I took the meaning that it was God speaking to us that said, are you ready to help me save the world? Which to me is the bringing our empty hands and ourselves. We just bring ourselves to help save the world. And to me, that's all that anyone who has studied the course and has learned about the illusion is just trying to offer another view or way out, a shared experience. You know, I'm sort of behind the eight ball because I did this course on my own, trying to teach myself, as I've said multiple times. It's the sharing that really opens up to the true reality. And of course, teaching, if we teach only love, there will only be love. And we're only teaching ourselves. And no, the world is never going to provide what I think it could. Like, that's the whole point. If, you know, I spent my lifetime trying to pursue it in the world. And sometimes I even want to discount a little bit when we say, oh, kindness really matters, love really matters. Because there's a part of me that knows our worth is established by God. Like Joan of Arc was not kind and loving, but I know she knew God's love. And sometimes that love makes us fight. And of course, we can stand back and stop the fighting. But I think the way I see all of us are these fractured selves of the entire sonship, which means there's a little Joan of Arc in me. There's a little Joan of Arc in you. There's like every being that has ever been born is in the mix. And I don't have a clear picture. That's why I come to these groups and I learn from people who seem to have seen beyond and into the realms and have a greater understanding of it all. My little experience is when I truly love, without condition, without transaction, without guilt, without shame, when I truly love, my world is changing. And that's so I commend anyone who wants to try. Like, let's try to change the world.
Well, when you keep, you know, the one book I have is Joe Vitale's book, not his first one, but his second one. And when you do forgive everything, like one of the suggestions is just say, I'm sorry, I love you. That's what, you don't have to say the whole Ho'oponopono prayer, but you're talking to the space because that's what's real. And just say, I'm sorry, I love you as a mantra. That will help our world because what we're doing is we're speaking as the one mind, asking for forgiveness, saying basically that nothing happened because it's an impossibility. Otherwise, we are, you know, Joe Vitale talks about that we're responsible not only for our own stuff, but for anything we see. You know, so that would mean like what's going on in the politics. Just forgive it, forgive it, forgive it, because that's the energy that we need. So that's one way, I guess.
Right.
But
And it's,
Marianne keeps saying that, and I think, I think that she would have been a great president in some ways, and in some ways, I don't know. I don't know
oh
that
no, she would have been a terrible president.
I didn't
There,
know enough to say that.
yeah,
I don't follow politics. Only appealed to me when Trump came on. Before
right.
that, I wasn't political. So
Yeah. Yeah. As long as everything was going okay. Yeah. And even if it's not, but no, I think, as just understanding the politics and the world and how it works, uh, Marianne would have been, I think, she would not have been a good president because in order to navigate the world the way the world is, you have to understand how it works. And, you can't just, go, oh, well, everything's going to be okay because now I'm in and, I'm going to ask the Holy Spirit about everything, which would be great, except for no one else is doing that. Or maybe everyone else is doing that, and who knows. But it's not, it's just like, I would have been a good butcher. Gee whiz, would I have been a good butcher? I probably would have.
right.
I don't know all that much about butchery, but I can learn how to do it and do it. Uh, but that doesn't mean I would have been good or that it would have been because there's more to it than what my experience is able to do. But anyway, a lot of people thought Marianne would be a great president. I can just imagine her talking to Vladimir Putin or trying to resolve the war in Ukraine or Gaza, the whole business over there. Um, I just don't think she could have navigated uh, in in the world of sharks. She may have been a whale, but in a world of sharks, she would still be overtaken just because uh, that's that's the world, you know, and we're not here to change that world. And don't be confused when Jesus says, "Help me save the world." He's not talking about, help me save America, help me save.
Right. He would
Uh,
never say that because there's nothing there. Right. He would
Right.
just,
So help me save nothing. Uh, Actually, what he's saying is, um, help me overcome the world. Help your brothers, help yourself to overcome the world. That's the salvation of the world, is to overcome the world and to no longer be affected by the world. So you can't do that while you're actively trying to manipulate the world. You got to choose one. Am I going to manipulate the world, or am I going to let it be exactly what it is and uh, save it through uh, saving myself by
right.
opening my mind and experiencing the Christ in my mind, experiencing the Christ in the minds of my brothers? That's what saves the world. The Christ mind is what saves the world, not
Well, that's what
change.
I mean. I think if she was going in, well, the way Hugh Lynn goes in and just keeps apologizing, saying he's sorry, there could be, I don't know, because why hasn't Hugh Lynn done it? He hasn't. I
Well,
don't think we can,
because
we can't save something that's not real.
yeah, save something you don't think is real. You know, how can you save something you don't believe in? The fact is, she does believe in the world, and that's why
Yes, that's
she
why I was
thinks she can
questioning
save
it.
it.
I just don't know enough to say that I know.
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't know and you don't know, then you're way above in thinking than people who don't know they don't know. And still think that they are somehow or the other able to affect affect something that doesn't even exist. Uh, you
You want to
can't.
hear something what Robert wrote? Jesus would have made a great president, but would never have gotten elected. Not the real. Now, the point is, I was listening to Ken Wapnick yesterday, and he was stating basically that people are very confused. There was never a Jesus either. So the Jesus story is just whatever you want it to be. But really, Jesus is just a symbol of love. That's what, as we all are, because nothing happened. So, but I was looking at it mainly because I see her come on YouTube and talk about it. And I'm like, God, Marianne, before I started the course, I went to DC to march with her for peace, because she wanted peace then. And she wanted a Department of Peace, and they never got one together here. And I think it just goes to show you everything that Ken Wapnick says. He used to get annoyed that she had this like idea that, and I just have a big question mark to all of it, because I don't know. I'll tell you something. The more I don't know, the better I feel.
Well, that's a start. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the more I don't know. Anyway, so where are we? Perhaps even
Okay.
more.
Yeah. And we're reading Living Untethered by Michael Singer.
Right.
And I don't even know who published this. Hang on, let me mark this and go back, because I always like to when it's not something from the foundation or whatever, it is let's see. New Harbinger Publications. So it's published by New Harbinger Publications out of Oakland, California. And that is this book that we are reading. Get back to our bookmark. I probably could I'm not even sure how to do it in this. Wait, didn't I just mark the place where we were? Why am I not seeing a bookmark? I know we haven't gone this far, because we just started last week.
We're really in the beginning, Lynn.
Yeah. So let me go find where it says starts with perhaps. Maybe I passed it up. The holy heck. Well, you know what? I don't see my bookmark, so bing, bing, bing. Everybody's getting a view.
Well, we could start over. I mean, reading something again is just helping.
Okay, let's do that.
I don't know that Deb was here last time. Deb wasn't here. Maybe she was. I don't remember. Sitting on a planet spinning through vast outer space for a handful of years, in the broadest sense, this is the human predicament. Earth has been here for 4.5 billion years, yet each of us is limited to roughly an 80-year ride on the planet, give or take a few years. We were born onto the planet and we will leave it when we die. That is simply the truth. What is not such a hard and fast truth, however, is what our few years on Earth are like. Undoubtedly, life on the planet can be very exciting experience. It can bring enthusiasm, passion, and inspiration at every turn. When it unfolds that way, every day can be a beautiful adventure. Unfortunately, life on Earth rarely unfolds exactly as we want it to. And if we resist, our experience can be quite unpleasant. Resistance creates tension and anxiety, and it makes life a burden. To avoid this burden and be able to fully embrace life, wise ones through the ages have taught the importance of accepting reality. Only by accepting reality can we work with the flow of life as it passes by and create a better world. All of science is based on studying reality, learning her laws, and then working with those laws to improve our lives. Scientists can't deny reality. They must fully accept reality as the starting point of their endeavors. To fly, we must fully embrace the law of gravity, not deny it. The same is true in the spiritual realm. Teachings such as surrender, acceptance, and non resistance form the basis of a deeply spiritual life. But these concepts can be difficult to grasp. In Living Untethered, we are embarking on a journey into the sheer reasonableness of acceptance and the great gifts it promises: freedom, peace, and inner enlightenment. Acceptance is best understood as non-resistance to reality. Try as you may, no one can make an event that has already happened, nor not have happened. Your only choice is to accept the event or resist it. And that's the whole path. The whole path is really about the fact that the resistor is always there, that resistor of not wanting us to be in this moment. During our journey together, we will explore how and why you make this decision. But first, you have to understand who is within. What has the power to decide? You are certainly in there. You have an intuitive sense of existence inside. What is that? It is awareness of self with a capital S. The most important topic we could ever discuss. Since we're going to take a deep dive into the spirituality of acceptance, we must start by understanding who is in there accepting or resisting. There are many ways to approach the nature of self. Let's go slowly and start with something very simple. Imagine someone comes up to you and asks, "Hi, are you in there?" How would you respond? No one would actually say no. I'm not in there. That would be the ultimate non sequitur. If you're not in there, who responded? You're definitely in there, but what does that mean? To isolate what you in there means, imagine you've been shown 3 different photographs. The photographs are held up one after the other, and then you're asked, though the photos changed, was it the same you saw all 3 of them? Your response would be, of course it was the same me. Very good. That helps us get our bearings. From this simple exercise, it's clear that you in there are not what you look at. You are the one who's looking. The pictures changed. You saw them, stayed. The pictures changed. You saw them, stayed the same. I'm going to read that. Wait a minute. The pictures changed. You saw them, stayed the same. It's not hard to understand with photographs that you are not what you look at, but there are some objects we identify with more than others. For example, our bodies. We identify with our bodies enough to say, I'm a 43-year-old woman who is 5'6". Is that really who you are in there? A 43-year-old, 5'6" female body? Or is the body something you in there are aware of? To sort this out, let's start with your hand. If you were asked whether you can see your hand, you would say, yes, I see my hand. Okay, but what? Wait a minute. Where's it? I lost my spot. Yes, I see my hand. Okay, but what if it got cut off? Don't worry about the pain. Just for a moment, imagine it's gone. Would you still be there? When you notice that your hand is gone, it's like the changing photographs. When the hand was there, you saw it. When it was gone, you saw it was gone. You in there who sees did not change. What you were looking at changed. Your body is just another thing you see. The question remains, who is in there doing the seeing? Note that we didn't have to stop with the hand. Surgery has become so advanced that with the help of the heart-lung machine and other medical devices, surgeons could remove a great deal of your body, and the same sense of self would still be in there. Aware of the changes. How could you be your body if it changed that much and you in there stayed the same? Fortunately, to help you realize you are not your body, we don't really need to go that far. There's a much simpler, intuitive way to approach this. Surely you've noticed that your body didn't look the same when you were 3, 10, 20, or 50 years old. It certainly won't look the same when you're 80 or 90, but isn't it the same you in there looking at it? When you were 10 years old and you looked in the mirror, did you see what you see now? No, but wasn't it you looking then and now? You've been in there the whole time, haven't you? That's the core, the essence of everything we're discussing. Who are you? Who is in there looking out through those eyes and seeing what you're seeing? Does anybody have any thoughts on this? Just look, just put your hand up if you do. Just like when you were shown the 3 photographs, you were not any of those photos. You were the one looking at them. Likewise, when you look at the mirror, you are not what you see. You are the one who sees it. Little by little, through the use of these examples, we are revealing the nature of self. Your relationship to what you see is always one of subject-object. You are the subject, and what you are looking at is the object. There are many different objects coming in through your senses, but there's only one subject experiencing them, you. This is a brilliant book. Okay, Robert. Yeah, I see that you're going to attend to Sherry. Yeah. Okay. The conscious receiver. Once you recognize that you're in there, you're going to notice that objects around you tend to distract your consciousness. Now, isn't that exactly what it's there for? To distract us. A neighborhood dog barks, someone walks in the room, you smell aromas of coffee, and your awareness is drawn to these objects. On a daily basis, you are so distracted by external objects that you rarely remain centered on you, the conscious receiver of these objects. Let's take a moment to examine the real relationship between this conscious receiver and the objects it is distracted by. To look at this scientifically, you are not even looking at the outer objects. Right now, you are not actually looking out at what you see. What's happening is that rays of light are bouncing off, listen to this, the molecules that make up the outer objects. These reflected rays are hitting your eyes, photoreceptors, and being transmitted as messages through your nervous system. These messages are then rendered in your mind as an image of external object. You are actually seeing the objects inside, not outside. Let's just sit with that. Does anybody want to share? Lynn, do you want to share on this? Maybe.
Yeah, it's just I have a hard time finding my mic. Yeah, so this is exactly what the course says about vision. And the course says you're only seeing the outside of anything. You can't even see what's really there. You can't with our eyes, we can't even see what's
Right, because
what's
they're
really there
cameras. Yeah.
at all because of the limit of vision. And because of the limitations of the body, like a bee, a bee flying around, buzz, 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 a bee can see wavelengths of stuff that we can't see at all. A dog can hear sounds. Animals can hear sounds that we can't hear at all. They're still there, but we're not aware of them because
Right.
of
Yeah,
the
that's true.
limitation
Because
of,
my dog will notice that I'm coming home. Like it will hear my car way before I approach the street. It can hear it because it's all happening inside.
yeah, and I don't know if it hears your car or if it just experiences you coming home. I mean, you're
But how?
interpreting it
How would
as
they see me if I'm in a car? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really.
because they know. How do you know anything? That have you ever had an experience of knowing something without having been given the evidence of it? Like just intuitive things. And you think about how intuitive, and Zita and I are reading that book on the clairs. And if you have that book, it's really good. And she talks about these senses that we have that we're not even aware of. We call it like psychic, but it's really natural and it comes through the chakras.
Yeah.
So, and dogs are the same. Animals, there are animals that sense there's going to be an earthquake. How do animals know
Yeah.
there's going to be an earthquake? Because they sense something that is happening deep underground. They sense things that we can't sense because of the limitation of our sensor. But we limit the reason we evolve such a limited sense. And I think maybe in the past, before uh you know we became cultured, and maybe back in what we call caveman days, um that they could sense a lot of things that we can't sense. uh
Right.
they could probably smell a distant forest fire. They could hear sounds from miles away. Sometimes you can hear sounds from miles away. It's a limitation. And so what he's talking about is that what we're seeing is just a very, 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 it's like those microbes I sent you the thing about. You never know that those were there, but they
Yeah,
are
we
there.
wouldn't, I don't know it, that's what I'm coming up with, which I really like. I don't know anything.
Right. And if
Now,
we did,
about 20 years ago, I said this during a teaching that I had been at a birth, a birth retreat, a breath retreat. It
uh-huh,
was, so it was
so
all about
rebirthing, yeah.
rebirthing, and I was breathing very, very deeply, and I absolutely was not talking. And I heard my voice say, I am not breathing myself. And I knew at the time, I didn't know what that was even saying, but see, the shock of the ego will hide it. The ego hides everything. So it's like when that happened, it stayed in my, how truth will always stay? It's the one thing that'll stay. Any bits of truth that I've had through the time that I've been incarnated, it's been slowly developing into me seeing that I was wrong about everything. I mean, everything.
And that
Like,
is
I
the
think that I'm
beginning of
Sharon.
wisdom.
In large part of the time, I still think, well, I'm Sharon. But I'm really not, because Sharon's an idea in a mind that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and that's the beginning of wisdom, is to
Right.
begin to understand I don't know. I don't even know what's in this room with me. I don't even know what's going on in
Yeah,
me
and you could
talking.
never know what you are either. Like, how could you know? Like, well, because somebody told us. That's the the record player doing that, just in our mind.
Yeah, Rocky.
Ruffy, where are you? Are you there?
Right
Yeah.
here.
Let's see who has their hand up. Yeah, go
Interestingly,
ahead, sir.
well, interestingly enough, just reflecting back on that body image thing. In the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I look at the mirror, I see this image, and I say to it, "You're not who I am. You're not even real. You're just a projected image. And you're here to serve, and you're not real. And I love you anyway, because I am love." And I never identified with that image. But and it's right. When I looked in the mirror when I was a little kid, I was the one that was seeing the image. When I'm look now, I'm in my 80s, and I'm looking in the mirror in this dreamland, and I see this image, and I'm still not that image. No reason not to love it because I am love, but that's just pretty much it.
It's just the identifying that I really need to really look at now. The identification of, is my hair okay? Do I like my outfit? Like none of that. It matters. Nothing matters. It's like, ooh. Right, Ruffy, you want to read some? Because I've been reading for a while. So is Lynn.
Oh, sure.
Okay, great.
I'll just pick it up from we are slowly peeling back the onion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We are slowly peeling back the onion to see what it's like to be you. Things are certainly not what they appear to be. Even science backs that up. It's like you are sitting inside looking at a mental flat screen monitor that is imaging the world in front of you. You are obviously not the object you are looking at. After all, you are not even looking at the actual object. If you work your way back, the question becomes, who am I in here looking at a mental image of what is in front of me? There was a great saint from India, an enlightened master, Ramana Maharshi. His entire spiritual path was to every moment persistently ask, who sees what I see? Who hears what I hear? Who feels what I feel? Self-realization, the term for enlightenment the yoga master Paramahansa Yogananda used, means you have fully realized who you are in there. The entire spiritual journey back to the seat of the self is not about finding yourself. It's about realizing you are the self. Self, synonym for love. Even in a Judeo-Christian sense, if somebody asks whether they have a soul, the correct answer is no, you don't have a soul in there. The consciousness are the soul. Thus, who are you becomes the quintessential question. You can't free yourself until you understand who it is that's bound. Likewise, you can't understand acceptance until you understand who is resisting. And I'm so glad the release technique has an exercise to get rid of resistance. I use it constantly. Let's continue our exploration of self. Earlier, we discussed that when you were young, you looked out through your eyes and saw a certain reflection in the mirror. Later in your life, you saw a very different reflection. From that point of view, how old are you? Not how old is your body, how old are you in there who's looking out through those eyes at your body? Bingo. If you were in there when you were 10, if you were in there when you were 20, if you're going to be in there on your deathbed noticing that you're dying, then what age are you in there? Don't answer the question, just let it touch you at a very deep level. Are you willing to let go of traditional concepts about your age? You bet. Let's do nothing interesting. Let's do another interesting experiment. Imagine you're looking in the mirror right after taking a shower. Do you see the reflection of a male or female body? What if somebody, via some mysterious power, it changes? Somehow the body parts change. If you were male, you're now looking at a female. If you were female, you're now looking at a male. Ooh. Would it still be the same you in there looking at that body? Uh-huh. Would it still be the same consciousness that has always looked out through those eyes, now seeing a very different body? You would probably be saying, what happened? What's going on here? Nevertheless, it would be the same you having the entire experience. So what gender are you? You in there has no body parts, can't have a gender. All you can have is awareness that when you look out through your eyes, The body you're looking at has a certain form and shape. That form and shape might be male or female, but you who notices are neither. You know, I'm starting to get to that point. When you reach a certain age and sexuality is off the table, you start looking at everybody as not male or female, but as people. And then I convert that people into I'm looking at divine love. And all of a sudden, there are no people and there are no genders. The question remains, who are you? The awareness that intuitively knows you are in there. Who? Your body has an age and your body has a gender. But those concepts, and concepts are just, it's just a mental grouping of things, are irrelevant to the one who notices the body. If you look at a tall 100-year-old vase, does that make you a tall and 100 years old? The same is true of race. Your skin may be a certain color, but the consciousness that notices this has no color at all. Hello. You are not your body. You are the one who notices the characteristics of your body. You are the conscious awareness within that is looking at all of this. The question is, are you willing to let go of who you thought you were? There's another exercise that we have that applies exactly to that. I'm so grateful for it. Because who you thought you were is not who you are. Bingo. The same inner being is looking at your body, your house, your car. You are the subject. All the rest are objects of consciousness. Let's turn to something a little lighter. At night, you go to sleep and you often dream. You wake up in the morning and you say, I had a dream. That statement is actually very deep. How do you know you had a dream? Do you merely remember the dream, or were you actually in there experiencing it? The answer is very simple. You were in there experiencing it. The same you who looks through the eyes and sees the outer world was experiencing the events occurring in the dream. There's only one consciousness being in there, and you are either experiencing the waking world or the dream world. Note that when describing your interactions with both worlds, you intuitively use the word I, as in I was flying through the clouds with my arms open wide, and then I suddenly woke up and realized I was in bed. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there is a very ancient yogic text. Patanjali discusses the topic of deep dreamless sleep. He says that when you go to sleep and there are no dreams, it's not that you are not conscious, it's that you are conscious of nothing. And I repeat it myself all the time. I am nothing. I'm not a thing. If you spend time contemplating this, you're going to find that you're always consciousness in there. Even people who get knocked unconscious or go into a coma often come back and tell us what they were experiencing. People have near-death experiences in which they leave their bodies and come back to tell about it. Whatever the source of these experiences, the same you in there experienced them and were able to describe what you experienced. How can you call that not being conscious? Medically, what we call conscious has to do with awareness of our external surroundings. However, the concept of whether you in there are consciously aware of anything, that's another story altogether. You're always conscious. You've been conscious from the beginning. You're aware of whatever you focus on, internally or externally. Who are you? Yeah, who am I? What am I? Who is that consciously? Who is that consciously? Who is that consciously aware entity inside?
Wow. Oh my gosh, Rafi, what do you think about this? I mean, this honestly, do we have, of course, I'm sure you've asked yourself those questions. Have we asked those questions, and what are the answers that we've come up with? Anybody have any comments or thoughts about dreaming, sleeping, consciousness, awareness, medically being in, what they would call a coma. How many people do we know who have, been in a quote coma and come back to tell what happened? I know myself, even one time when I briefly was in a karate class, um, and the instructor was showing us um, how to choke someone out, basically, and picked me as a subject, and I went out. Boom, I was out, and during that time, of course, they took care, helped me, and didn't, during that time, I went on a trip. I went all over I was in all kinds of places. I talked to a bunch of different people. I had a bunch of experiences. And when I came to, it had only been like a few seconds, but it had been like a lifetime in this other place. And where was that? And who was it who was doing all that? It was, there's you're consciously aware. We're not even consciously aware of everything that's happening. And that's was something that was burned into my consciousness. I was like, 19 or maybe 20 years old when that happened. And it brought about a great realization for me about the state of consciousness, just from that one little experiment from a class. And yes, please don't ask me to do any katas or practice any martial arts, because I can't do that now. But yeah, you're always there. And if anybody here who's had a near life experience, what we might call near death, but if you're really there, you're actually near life. Anyway, Rafi, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, in regard to the dreaming, when I dream at night and then I wake up in the morning and say, oh, it was only a dream, and I dismiss it because it was only a dream, figment of my imagination. And then I look around and I realize that what I'm looking at is only a dream. It's a figment of my imagination. Well, why don't I just let that one go too? Who is the I that looked at it and said, oh, this is just a figment of my imagination? What is this I that looks out at this dream that I'm sitting now in in a den looking at, the walls and the trees outside the window and what have you? Who is that? What is that? If all of this is a figment of my imagination, then where did all that come from? Well, I thought it up. I thought it up. Who's the I that thought that up? Who's the thinker? I'm not the thinker. Where did the thinker come from? What's the source of the thinker? How did the thinker form? And the more I ask those questions, first of all, it brings up a lot of stuff to let go. Stuff rips through my guts like you can't believe, and I just keep working through it. I'm not that. I'm not this. I'm not that. Then what am I? And all of that is extremely clear. I don't answer the question. There's no point in answering the questions because the answer is the quiet. There is nothing here. But who am I or what am I that is aware of all of this, that is conscious of all of this? That never changes. That's always. And as it turns out, it's bigger than the universe. When I ask myself, how am I infinite universal love? Mine had the quiet that comes from that's the reality. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. And yeah, wow, this is great. I'm glad we're reading this book. I did just find where we were. I guess we read all this last week, but I don't think everyone here was here. So we're all here now. And I see Dr. Sora is here, and of course, Sharon and Bob and Mickey and Linda and Deb and Rafi and myself. I'm going to go ahead and close out this YouTube and set up for the next one where we're studying